Hi everybody, this is my fourth and last review for my Leatherotics Corsets mini-series, and this one is a little bit different because inspired by some other videos out there like the one done by Fairy Gothmother and Honey, Trolls Need Hugs, I decided to do a comparison video. So I'm going to compare this corset to a Chinese-made corset that's supposed to be one of the more better quality Chinese corsets. And I tried to get two corsets that were comparable in basic style and silhouette and everything. So what I'm wearing right now is the Leatherotics corset style 1811, and I specifically got this one because it has very gentle curves, this particular style, kind of like the Chinese one, which I'm going to show you next, which also has very gentle curves. So here is the front, side, back, and the other side. And here is the Chinese-made corset, which has a slightly different silhouette, but still very gentle curves. So here's the front, the side, the back, and the other side. So here are the two corsets side by side. On my left is the Chinese-made one, on my right is the Leatherotics brand. Starting with the material, for the Leatherotics one, there are two layers of material. There's the outer satin, which actually, by the sound, it feels more like taffeta, but they say it's satin. And then on the inside is a cotton twill. On the Chinese-made one, you can see that it is actually only one layer, and it's kind of like a cotton back. Well, I don't want to say cotton backed satin because that implies that it's satin couture, and it's not satin couture, but it is one layer that is sort of like a satin on the outside and more of a cotton on the inside. So the construction, both of them have 6 panels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However, they are constructed differently, slightly. The panels on this one are top stitched together, and the panels on this one, actually this one is different from my other Leatherotics corsets because they're not top stitched at the panels. These ones are lock stitched at the panels, which results in a smoother line. On the inside, they both have internal boning channels. These internal channels are made out of twill, and these internal channels are made out of a kind of like those commercial fuzzy cotton boning casings that you usually would find them for plastic bones, like on the inside of a bra or something. Both of these corsets have a waist tape. In the Leatherotics brand, you can see that the waist tape is 1 inch wide satin ribbon, and it's secured down underneath these boning channels. But you can see how it goes right from the first panel to the very last panel. And then on the Chinese-made corset right here, it is made out of grosgrain ribbon, 1/2 inch wide, so a little bit more narrow. But can you see how it's only in panels 3, 4, and 5. It actually cuts off at panel 2 and also at panel 6 right there. So it doesn't extend right to either side. So even though these 3 panels will be held pretty strong together, there is still a risk of weakness in any of these panels that don't contain the waist tape. Here's a close-up of the binding on the Leatherotics piece. You can see that it's made out of matching black satin, and it's neatly machine stitched on the front side and also on the underside here. It has 4 garter tabs as well, 2 on each side, and I'm just going to make a note that on all the edges of the Leatherotics corsets, the binding is very neatly finished. And here's a close-up of the binding on the Chinese-made corset. It's also machine stitched on the front side and the back side. It's not made out of the same satin, but it's a very closely matching red satin bias tape. This one also comes with 4 garter tabs, 2 on each side. And this one is not as neatly finished on the edges here. I don't know if you can see that. It's basically just folded on the underside and tacked down, and then they just cut off that raw edge right there. The Leatherotics piece comes with a attached Modesty Panel attached to the left side of the corset when you're wearing it, and it's made out of 2 layers, so the satin on the outside, the twill on the inside. And the Chinese made corset also has a Modesty panel also attached to one side, but it's on the right side instead of the left side, made out of one piece of the satin with the sort of matte backing, and covered in lace, which is a nice touch. On this corset, there's also a Modesty placket in the front underneath the busk, whereas in the Leatherotics corset, this one's slightly different. It has a Modesty placket, but it's on top of the busk instead of below. For the busks here, on the Chinese made busk, it is about 11.5 inches long. On the Leatherotics busk, it is 10.5 inches long, slightly shorter. The Chinese made busk is wider. It is 1 inch wide on each side. However, it's still fairly flexible. You can see that I can actually touch the two ends together. Whereas on the Leatherotics one, it is 1/2 inch wide on each side, but it's actually not as flexible. I can't touch the two ends together. For bones, the Chinese made corset has 14 bones total, 7 on each side. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they are all steel bones in here, so they didn't lie about that. However, they even used spiral steel bones on the two back bones by the grommets. So when I was lacing this up, I found it very difficult to get it straight in the center back. It kept wanting to bow because the spirals, they also bend sideways, whereas the flats don't. On the Leatherotics corset here, there are 2 fewer bones in here. There are 12 bones in here total, 6 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However, you can see that they do indeed use flat steels by the grommets, and they also used spiral steels in the sides. Here's a close-up of the grommets in the Chinese made corset. There are 20 size 00 grommets in this corset, 10 on each side. They are holding up surprisingly well. However, you can see that they're spaced closer together. There are fewer of them, and you can see that they're not in the center of the panel that was made for them to go in. It's actually offset a little bit towards that outer bone right there. On the underside, not a lot of splits. Right there I can see one of the grommets starting to pop out. A little bit here as well. So it's not perfect. And here's a close-up of the grommets on the Leatherotics corset. Once again, they are size 00 grommets, but the flange around them is a little bit wider, and there are 28 of these instead of 20 like in the other corset. And right away you can notice the difference between the new style corsets and the old style corsets of Leatherotics. Like I said before, the weak point of the previous Leatherotics corsets were their grommets. They did rip out. This one is holding up extremely well. There are more grommets, they're spaced closer together, and also the 2 bones that are sandwiching the grommets are spaced closer together so that there's less wiggle room for these grommets right here. And here is a close-up of the grommets from the underside. Let me try and move the Modesty panel out of the way here. I don't see any splits in here. They're holding up extremely well. I've had this for about a month now, and there's no pulling away from the fabric from the twill here, so there has been a huge improvement. The price for this corset starts at about 40 pounds, or it converts to about $60 in the US. However, you can get this made to measure. So if you do that option, then it will probably be a little bit curvier on you if you choose to have it curvier. This one, no customization options, no other colors available, but this one was $20 including shipping. So in conclusion, I can't tell you which one to buy because you're going to buy what suits your budget and what's suitable for your own needs. However, in my opinion, I still believe you have to go way higher than $20 to get a good quality corset. So I hope you enjoyed this comparison video and you like the Leatherotics reviews in general. If you did learn something, then please click the like button. It helps support the channel. If you have any comments or questions, need clarification, then please leave them down below and I'll get back to you. And I will see you all in the next video.